is digital citizenship? As intricate as it may appear, digital citizenship is simply the basics of responsible and thoughtful use of technology and digital media, a topic that has been a problem for students all around the county. With the new increase in the use of technology in every way, shape, and form, students everywhere have succumbed to the dangerous disease of subtweeting.
Not to mention, the widespread neglect of etiquette has led students to abuse their social media, further causing their digital reputation to be destroyed. Did you know that college admission officers have begun to reconsider student applications due to what they say online?
In fact, according to the New York Times, a student touring Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, began tweeting snide comments about the other students touring with him. And because Bowdoin College, like most other colleges, keeps tabs on social media, they viewed all these comments without her even knowing. To say the least, she was not accepted into Bowdoin College.
Today, we aim to bring awareness and thoughtfulness to online activities within our student bodies around the county. All students should be aware of what they post, who sees it, and who is affected by it.
We must also be mindful of how our online profile can influence those around us, including ourselves. The digital power we hold in our hands can affect our college applications, our future occupations, relationships, and so much more. How your life is affected depends on how you responsibly handle your digital citizenship.
As adolescents, we claim to have mastered the art of social media, but have we really? This phenomenon has been a necessity that has gradually taken over our lives, as more than 81% of teens now use some sort of social media, whether that be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, or Snapchat. As a result, it actually appears the other way around. Perhaps social media has mastered us.
Social media enables users to create and share massive amounts of content in our online network. With such a universal medium, there are millions of users. In fact, there are 1.59 billion Facebook and 320 million Twitter users around the world.
With something so many people use, it's important to protect all your information you put on social media accounts. And the best way of doing this is by putting your account on private.
Do you think that students use social media too often?
I think that it's become almost a second friend for them. I think in a lot of ways they see it as a safety blanket, where it's a safe place to drop their thoughts, express themselves, and use it almost like what people used to use journals for in an old way. And it worries me a little bit because it's not your private thoughts anymore. And the only thing that really matters is you and what your friends, your true friends, think of you and why you care. That's what really matters.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use social media in inappropriate times or just too much in general, because I know that when I'm with my friends, sometimes we'll just be sitting there and we won't actually have real conversations. We need more communication between humans, because I feel like too much social media could be bad.
Have you ever posted something and regretted it?
I've posted a few things and regretted it. One was a fight video of me, and it didn't turn out too well on my side. My mom saw it later, and I regretted it for the last 2 months, so it turned out bad. Have you ever posted something and regretted it?
Yeah, I posted a picture of a selfie of me and photoshopped it. I have a 6-pack, but instead I put an 8-pack to make me look a little bit more muscular. My mom found it, and she was wondering why was my shirt off in the picture.
Do you think that accounts should be put on private? If so, why?
Yes, I do believe that they should be put on private. If someone follows you that you don't know, they shouldn't have access to your personal information and pictures.
Even though your account might be on a private setting, it doesn't stop people that are not technically your friends on social media from being able to access your things.
What would life be without a phone, or a tablet, or even a computer? Without them, we'd feel detached and separated from society, as if we have no means of communication with the rest of the world.
Mobile devices are an important part of our 21st century life, as they give us communication capability, computing power, and continuous access to the internet.
Because of mobile devices, we are constantly exposed to events and information around the world.
91% of teenagers occasionally access the internet on cell phones, tablets, and other mobile devices.
Being so connected with so many forms of communication, we have to remember how much control a mobile device can have on us.
What would you do without your phone for the day?
Use someone else's, and I would be very unaware of what's happening.
If I didn't have my phone for the day, I'd be very bored, but I think that I would be more aware to my surroundings and all the possibilities that the world is offering.
Without my phone for the day, I would probably do nothing because most of the time I am on my phone. Like a second ago, I was just using my phone.
I don't know. I don't know what I'd do without my phone for a day.
What are the advantages and disadvantages to always being connected?
So the advantages of always being connected, it's good to know about what's going on in the outside world and like people close to you and also people that you don't have contact with, like celebrities. And there's like other advantages, you have something to do in your free time.
An advantage would be to know what everyone in your life is doing.
You're not technically living life, you're basically living in this fake world where basically everything's perfect.
The disadvantage to always being connected is that you're so absorbed in the digital world that you're like losing touch with the real world.
Digital footprint is the information a person leaves behind based on their interactions on the internet. However, it's oftentimes forgotten.
People leave footprints knowingly through social media and unknowingly through IP addresses and online purchases. This accumulation of a digital footprint comes from such a large pool of actions, such as changing, posting, or even being logged on to a website.
Around 92% of US toddlers already have a digital footprint, and because it begins at such a young age and spans over so many sites and social medias, sometimes without our knowledge, it's very difficult to erase.
One way to check your digital footprint is by Googling yourself. Let's see what comes up when several students at this school look themselves up.
Wow, my old Instagram from like 7th grade, some Facebook, to Vine, Twitter. Oh no. There's a picture of a phone case I bought. I didn't know that. Honestly, I just found out.
Well, there's one where I posted a picture with half my shirt up and my sister commented, "shirt on."
Okay, so I just looked up my name, and there's pictures of my little sister on here, on Google Images. There's this picture of me and my friend that we took in like 6th grade. It takes me to my Twitter.
How will a digital footprint affect one's future in regards to college, jobs, and internships?
So the way the world is going, more colleges are looking at students' Facebook and Instagram pages to determine whether they'd be a good fit for the college. So even though you may have really high test scores and you're a really well-rounded student, they're going to be looking at that too. So that can affect your admissions decision. I always say don't put anything on the internet that you wouldn't want to be published on the front page of the Times-Dispatch, or anything that you wouldn't want your grandmother to read. So it's especially important for students to be mindful for that. It's like a professional page now because it's really hard to hide, what you put on the internet.
Net etiquette, or as some people call it, netiquette, are the good manners you should use on the web.
Some of the most important things to remember when communicating with someone online is to think before you post and to not say anything you wouldn't say to them in person.
Basic netiquette rules include respecting the opinions of others, keeping all accounts private and secure, and considering others' feelings before writing sarcastic or mean comments.
Always remember who you're speaking to when communicating online. While it may just be typing something to someone on a screen, don't forget you are speaking to another person and that things can be easily misinterpreted when read online.
What does netiquette mean to you?
To me, netiquette is acting appropriately online.
Have you ever witnessed a lack of netiquette?
Like, I've played online games before, and that's part of the culture. You use that edge.
Every comment section on youtube.com.
I've seen a lack of netiquette when people bash Andy Jenks for not giving us snow days. Everyone just really becomes really mean to him.
Well, in this day and age where everyone's so sensitive about everything and everybody's posting stuff, there's always lots of arguments in the comment section.
So last year, there was some kind of drama between my friends and I, and they assumed some things that weren't true. And they just kind of spread these rumors to all my other friends, and they had no idea of what was really going on. So that kind of made me a little upset that, like, my best friend told my other friends stuff about me that wasn't true. It just made me really upset because I didn't want to go to school, because I didn't really have anyone to talk to about what was going on. I think it started through text messages, and then like right after that, pretty much everyone unfollowed me on all my social media accounts. For those who are going through the same thing, I guess I would just advise you to talk to somebody. My mom told me that I should talk to my guidance counselor about how I'm being bullied. I mean, it was close to the end of the year, so it wasn't too awful for me, but it was kind of hard coming back to school in the fall. I didn't really think that it could happen to me because there are like small things that count as cyberbullying, but I never really paid attention to it because they didn't affect me in a major way. So like, I didn't think that something this big would ever happen to me.
And this person is not alone in this situation, as nearly 45% of kids have been bullied online. Online bullies have a chance to be heard, but not seen, as they can be anonymous or take a different name.
So many people are cyberbullied, but even worse, 95% of teens who witness cyberbullying choose not to speak out.
Many students don't realize the gravity of the situation until it's too late. Teens can end up depressed or in many situations committing suicide.
You still might not understand how significant a mean or sarcastic message to someone is, but don't wait till you're held responsible for someone's lost life. Be kind and don't let others get away with it.
Cyberbullying is pretty prevalent at the high school level. Typically, I see maybe one situation every few weeks or so. And what I would like for teens and high school students to understand is that things they do now can negatively affect them in the future. For example, if you're cyberbullying through any of the social networks, an employer is more likely to look for those types of incidents online to see if you are a qualified candidate. And if those things are present, that can negatively affect your chances of employment, scholarship opportunities, college attendance, and things of that nature.
What is online reputation? It is the opinion of others about you based on your online behaviors that can positively or negatively affect your reputation.
According to Pew Internet Research, 91% of teens are posting photos of themselves, much more than the 76% in 2006. Oversharing your personal lives on social media can be risky, especially with many colleges and employers looking to your online profiles.
However, negative online behaviors does not just affect teenagers. In a survey conducted by Microsoft, 14% of adults said that they have experienced negative consequences due to online activities by others.
You do not know who has downloaded what you have posted online, such as screenshotting text messages or tweets, or what search engines have kept your key search words. You must also be aware of who has seen what you have posted online and how they might perceive you based on your cute selfie or your indirect, ambiguous messages.
Here are some tips to avoid online negative behavior in order to improve your reputation.
Create good, informative content to suppress the negative.
Spread your positive attitude through social media.
Monitor your reputation. Frequently check your name or business to see if any problems come up. So before you post that shady subtweet, think about your online reputation.
How have students' online reputation affected how you view them?
So it's actually a really good question. I feel like with some students who we see in the classroom is really representative of who they are outside of the classroom, but in other cases, sometimes who we see here isn't who we see on various social media accounts. We can't unsee them basically, so I'm always kind of telling my kids, be careful what you post. Make sure that what you post you wouldn't mind actually saying to our faces or to your friends' faces or in front of your parents or whatever, because it's out there. And if you put it out there on an open social forum, you need to own what you put there.
Because of social media, people can craft themselves to look a certain way online. What you put online can end up picturing your perfect or ideal self. But is that truly you?
It's important not to let your Insta feed or how many likes or comments you get on something dictate how you feel about yourself. Self-esteem should be centered around personality and character, not that picture that draws in more than 100 likes.
Also, your self-image may not reflect how others view you. Therefore, it is important to portray yourself in a positive light so others will see you the same way you see yourself.
How does social media affect self-image? Can it be dangerous to self-image?
I think it's very dangerous to self-image, especially on social media, because I feel like if you don't get enough likes on one picture, then you don't feel important enough for that person to just double tap.
Social media can most certainly affect someone's self-image, both in a positive and a negative way.
It can be really destructive because if you post something you might regret, then that might be all someone ever knows about you.
Here at Glen Allen IT, we want you to be more aware and thoughtful the next time you think to post something.
All of this information and more can be found at the Henrico IT website.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Grant.
Thanks for watching.
Digital citizenship is something we should not take for granted.
And so what I would suggest to stay safe on social media is I don't follow people that I don't know.
Digital citizenship should be used but not abused.
Just be mindful of like how much I'm using it, who I'm like connecting with and communicating with.
If you wouldn't say it in person because you're scared of the consequences in person, you shouldn't say it online because it still has the same effect. Like you're still hurting people.
You basically need to be whoever you are in real life. So you better have the same personality both ways. I think it's most important to be true to yourself.
We live in a world where we feel like we always have to be perfect and live up to everything. And so when you post on social media and people make mean comments about how you look or how you act, it really just adds to feeling like you can't ever amount to anything, which is so untrue.
Digital citizenship is not about discouraging the use of social media, but it's about being proactive on it.